For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. It is August 19th, and we've got a special broadcast for you. You know, sitcoms back in the day used to do clip shows, right? And it was kind of like towards the end of the season, and it seems like maybe the writers were just sort of drunk or hungover or something, and all the show was just a flashback, right? They reminisce about the old times. They talk about what happened back then. That's what we're going to do today. You know, earlier in the week there was an incident in Puerto Vallarta where it made national headlines, actually around the world anyway, that some people were abducted from a restaurant. It was El Chapo's son, and I feel the need to sort of speak out, not in regards to this incident, because I wasn't there, I don't really know what happened, but naturally when something like that happens, as the same, you know, with Orlando or Dallas, wherever there's these, you know, violent incidents or something that happens, you know, the area gets a reputation, and there's some backlash, and, you know, people just, there's like damage control, and so I feel the need to go on the record and say we've actually broadcast our radio shows, Top of the Charts and The Open Road, from Puerto Vallarta, 4 times, I believe it is, and we celebrated our 10-year anniversary this spring there with actually 3 weeks worth of shows. And so, you know, we've worked with the tourism board there, we've worked with their PR agency in New York. I have never felt unsafe. Actually, quite honestly, this could get me in trouble, but I actually feel almost the most welcome there than I do at any of the other destinations that we've gone to. Oh, I sense the emails coming in already. But, you know, every destination that we've gone to has been very welcoming and hospitable and all that stuff. But maybe it's just because we've worked together so long that it's a really good time when we go to Mexico. And so I've never felt unsafe. I always feel very welcome. You know, there's like rock star status when I check in, and they really do treat you well, and it's not just because I'm media and I've got a platform, even when I see other guests checking into hotels or at restaurants or whatever. So what we want to do today, we've got a bunch of clips from our past shows that we've had, like the radio broadcasts from Top of the Charts and The Open Road live from Puerto Vallarta. We're playing those clips today, and then also you'll hear the links that you can go to see more information about the people that we're talking with and the things that we're doing. So we've got some segments from our different activities and adventures, and we're going to play some of those for you right now. Here's one from one of our actually very first visits there, where we went on an eco tour. Take a listen. We just saw some dolphins jumping out of the water, and a little friend who wanted to come on the boat, I think. Tell us what we were experiencing for this first little bit.
Well, first we saw these bottlenose dolphins, very playful. One was jumping and leaping like crazy, slashing the tail, very fun. And then we find one of our most important animals here as olive ridley sea turtle. And it was a young sea turtle, and it was just looking at the boat, trying to come, almost like, take me with you wherever you're going. And he gave us a very good view of it, because usually they're shy. But this one probably was young, and it was just like a sting.
You were saying that usually they don't come that close. They're usually a little bit afraid so that they wouldn't come towards us. But this one was coming, like, as you're saying, right at us.
Yeah, I think it was too young, inexpert.
Yeah.
Doesn't know yet about life, and they should dive pretty fast. That's usually the safest.
So, yeah, lots of things in the water. So hopefully, our fingers are crossed that we're going to see some whales today. And I'm a little bit afraid. They're not here to eat us, though. You're saying that they're in Mexico to do something else. They're here to have a bit of fun time.
Yeah, they're coming here to have their babies and to mate. So basically no feeding here, only mating and having babies.
Okay, so we're not like bait for them. They're not going to think, okay.
Even in the feeding grounds, they're not attracted to you because they eat tiny fish. So we're too big for them to swallow. So.
Okay, well, we're going to keep our eye out for some whales, and we're going to get back to the music on the show, and hopefully when we come back, we'll see some whales. All right, more with Astrid from Eco Tour Adventures right here in Mexico. It's a great day. Stick with us.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here, back in Puerto Vallarta. We've got a lot of pictures from this wonderful boat tour that we're looking at all of the different dolphins and sea turtles, and we did see our first few whales already here. I'm joined by Astrid at Eco Tours. Now, how many could we expect to see? Like, what is the most you've ever seen when you've gone out here one day?
Well, it varies a lot from one day to the other. The most I have seen in a day has been 18.
Oh,
but
wow.
that's really amazing, and usually that happens when you see big mating groups.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you see a lot more whales together. But in an average day, we get to see between 6 to 8 whales. So so far we have seen 4 whales, so it's been so good. So far.
And that's the funny thing. It's quite an adventure. You're kind of sitting there, and everybody's on the lookout, and then all of a sudden it's like we're whale chasers today is what we're doing, and it's great. And we've got a bunch of pictures that we're going to be putting on our website. Go to mexico.jbonair.com, and you'll see our dolphin, our turtle friend, who we hope he's doing okay. Not getting too close.
No, it's good.
And so, what else does Eco Tours offer? There's this whale adventure that we're on today. What else can people do here when they come?
Also the sea turtles. We have a sea turtle camp where you can come in the afternoons, and we see a crocodile facility to protect the crocodiles, and then we go and release the little hatchlings into the ocean, which is really very neat. Occasionally we get to see the mom turtles digging the nests and laying their eggs, and that's about to finish in January, but that's mainly summer to winter. The sea turtles. We also have birding. This is a great different habitats here around Puerto Vallarta, so you can see up to 350 different species of birds are found in this area.
Wow.
So it's also great. Snorkeling, of course, kayaking.
And there's a lot of education, because before we went out this morning, we saw the slideshow and the information about whales, and it's more than just taking pictures. We've learned quite a bit about them even before we left the building. So it's very educational, very informative.
Well, we try to do that in all of our trips, that people not just to have fun, but also to learn a little bit of what you see out there, and we find that it also makes it more interesting.
Now, I did want to ask, we did see some things that we did not like out there. We found a bottle, and we found some things that shouldn't be in the water. How does that, for whales, they're below the surface, but they also do come up. So how would litter, trash like that, affect the whales in the water?
Well, here not much, because they are not feeding. But
Right.
in a feeding ground, trash would be very problematic, because they can swallow it, so it could be a problem. It's a problem with other animals like dolphins or sea turtles. That's why we were picking it up whenever it was possible. And unfortunately, everything we put out, even in the streets, is washed with the rivers to the ocean. So even we make cleanups and everything, it's impossible to have it clean out there. So it's very bad. Not for the whales. The whales have more trouble here with fishing gear, for instance, but not with trash. But trash is a problem for any animals: birds, turtles, dolphins.
So you've got the bird, the whale tour, everything, and there's the website that everybody can go to. What is the address?
Yeah, our address is www.ecotoursvallarta, all in together, .com.mx.
And we'll be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for a great morning. It's been great, and our adventure is going to continue. While you at home are listening to the music, we're going to go chase some whales. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Back now here on the Scribble, and lots of fun on the water in Mexico, and I had a run-in with some pirates. And before you freak out, good pirates, they're in character. There's a Canadian night, and I've taken part in that pirate boat cruise. I was going to say booze cruise. Well, it is a little bit of that, too, where you have a great dinner and you get to watch a pirate show. Take a listen to the pirates that we had on the radio. Jeremy Bradley here, back live once again in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Now, you can go to mexico.jbonair.com. That's where we've got all of the pictures, video, interviews, everything from Mexico here. And now I'm on a pirate ship, which is kind of cool, because we're going to go on a cruise, and we're going to see a pirate show. And I've got, is this the head pirate, or what?
Aye, Captain. Captain, forget about that, mate.
The captain. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan. I think I've met you several times in the past. So we're on your boat here. What are we going to experience then in the next little while?
Like everything is included here on board. You're gonna have the open bar,
of course,
all night long, delicious dinner. But of course, we have an amazing show with sword fighting, cannonballs. I can be talking about this the whole night, but you have to be here. You have
absolutely.
to see in this.
Yeah, and I mean, even the pictures and video that we have on our website doesn't do it justice. So there's fireworks. I mean, there's going to be a whole bunch of real excitement. So you also get the crowd involved before the show, right?
Of course, about the show. Well, it's going to be a great show, but we have all night. It's going to be party. Everything is about party.
Absolutely, that's what we do here in Mexico. So where can we check out more about the Pirates of the Bay then? Website, phone number?
Yeah, of course, we have our website that is Pirate Ship. The Pirate Ship is pirateship.com, something like that. I don't remember right now, but yeah, something like that.
I'm sure to check it out. Now, there's also something in the daytime for families as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we have also the day tour that is like more for family and kids. They go to the beach, they have the treasure hunt, they do a banana ride, kayaking, volleyball. There's a lot of fun on the beach in the morning tour. They also have like the breakfast, lunch, concerts on board, dancing on board. It's great for the kids and for all the family.
Well,
yes.
Something for everyone. So again, thank you so much, Captain Morgan, for allowing us on your ship. Once again, our website address, mexico.jbonair.com. That's where you can see everything that we've done in Mexico. Thank you so much, and I guess we're just going to party all night, right?
Oh yes, all night long, so get ready for the adventure. Ahoy!
All right, Captain Morgan, thank you so much.
Today's best music with Jeremy Bradley.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Back here on the Scribble, how funny, we've got a commercial for our Mexico coverage. See, that is how much we promote Puerto Vallarta. We've even got commercials for our Mexico content on this show. There you have it. Now, I did have a good time with the Pirates, and, I mentioned I had that slip of the tongue by saying that it was a booze cruise. Well, there was a tequila tasting. Now, I was a little bit ignorant. This spring, when we were celebrating 10 years on the radio, I had the opportunity to go to the Marriott Resort, and I was actually staying there, and we did a tequila tasting. Now, the very first tequila that I tried, I did what a typical Canadian or American would do, is you take the shot and you down it. Well, I later found out, once my eyes stopped watering and my nostrils cleared out, that you're actually supposed to sip the tequila. Have a listen to what I learned. Jeremy Bradley here, back in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, at the famous Marriott Hotel. And again, we've got all of the coverage at pv.jbonair.com. Now, I'm in a private room with Audrey. We're about to taste some local beverage. We're about to do tequila tasting, right? And so there's a few kinds here on the table in front of us. What are the differences? Now, I know there's the Casa Magna brand of tequila, so we're going to be trying those, right?
Yes, we're going to try the Joven, Casa Magna Joven, the Reposado, and the Añejo.
Okay. Now, I've got to ask you, because I know tequila, being from Canada, that people take it as a shot, but you were telling me before we went on the air that you have it with a meal. It's sort of like wines, where there's white, there's red, there's different kinds, and it's really an experience here.
Yes, what we do here at Marriott Casa Magna Puerto Vallarta, we try to make an experience to our guests who try tequila for the first time. We are very lucky that the chef is cooking some different dishes for us, and what we do is that we do the pairing to show an experience and to show what we can pair each tequila with each meal. So it makes it very interesting.
So again, like wine, there's one for fish. You can have one, with chicken, one with beef, right?
Yes. The white usually are recommended for the fish. For the chicken, I recommend it for the reposado. Also, the white is really good for the seafood. And then if you want a meat which is a little bit more with a wine sauce or something a little bit darker, or a bit stronger, I will recommend the añejo.
Now, you were telling me before we went on the air that there's like a certification here, right? Tequila is made in a place that's called Tequila. So just explain that process then that you were telling me before.
Well, the thing is that Tequila is actually a real town. It's about 45 minutes from Guadalajara, from the capital state where we are in Jalisco, and about 4 hours from here in Puerto Vallarta. And yes, it exists a certification because each bottle, if we want to be called Tequila, and as a certification from the Committee Regular of Tequila, and if it's not made in the town of Tequila or in the state of Jalisco, it cannot be called and shouldn't be called Tequila.
Okay, now there's these plants everywhere you go here. The agave plant, right?
Yes, that's the plant that produces tequila.
Okay, so from the time that it's not necessarily in the ground, or is it in the ground as well? Because it's sort of above ground.
It's above the ground.
Okay, and so how long from the time that it's above the ground till it's in a bottle in front of me?
Well, it depends on each tequila owner. Usually it's from 7 to 8 years, but then we had some tequila owners who can wait a little bit longer than 10 years. But the plant is more mature, of course, and much stronger, but usually it's from 7 to 8 years if you want to do a regular tequila.
Now, you were saying to me that there's some of them, the one here is aged, so it's about 5 years. And we know with wine, sometimes they taste better with age. What is the difference then in terms of tequila taste or even the smell as it gets older?
Well, the thing is that tequila, the white tequila, like I said, white means blanco, and it hasn't been on the oak barrel at all. But then it's going to be on the oak barrel up to 5 years. So it means that meanwhile, the long is going to stay in the oak barrel, and the long is going to be more oaky, and maybe you're going to taste, because of the different oak that the tequila owners are using, you can smell taste of vanilla or chocolate forest. It can be oak coming from United States, from Canada even, or French oak.
I've got to ask you then, what is your favorite drink with tequila? What do you like to have?
Well, I like my tequila, which is, because it's so hot here in Puerto Vallarta during the summer, if you have it just cold, chilled, it's excellent. You can really smell the taste of it. Or there's a drink that we really like here in Mexico called La Bandera that represents the Mexican flag with the lime juice and sangrita and the white tequila.
I haven't had one of those yet. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to get back to the music. I might try one of those as you're listening to music. Again, pv.jbonair.com is where we have all of the fun from our 10th anniversary on the radio. Well, Audrey, thank you so much. And cheers, I guess I should say.
Yes, thank you. Salud, and we hope to see you here.
Cheers in Spanish is?
Salud.
Salud. And then in French?
Santé.
And German? I'm just putting her on the spot. She knows a lot of languages. So thank you so much, Audrey. Appreciate it.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Once again, the websites to check out all of our Mexico fun are mexico.jbonair.com, mexico.jbonair.com, and then from the tequila tasting, pv.jbonair.com, pv.jbonair.com, and we were also there for Pride one year. We celebrated Pride on the beach in Mexico. One more link, while you're jotting them all down, I'm a link whore today. It's pride.jbonair.com, pride.jbonair.com. I think most of our bandwidth, by the way, on our travel shows is for Mexico, so there you are. Now, it's not all about booze when you're there. I'm having a laugh about the tequila tasting and the pirate cruise. There's also a lot of food. Also, this spring, I took a taco tour. Have a listen. Jeremy Bradley here, hungry and thirsty, so I think I'm going to taste everything that Puerto Vallarta has to offer. So we're going to try some tacos, we're going to try some beer, we're going to try some tequila, right, Amanda? So let's talk about tequila. Let's talk about introduce the company, the website, and tell us what we're going to do today.
So our company is Vallarta Food Tours, and our website is very easy to remember. It's vallartafoodtours.com. And what we're going to be doing today is trying some of Puerto Vallarta's fine cocktails and a little bit of food that have and represent our Mexican spirits, which is primarily tequila and mezcal, over 3.5 hours. about.
So in terms of food then, there's a bunch of different flavors, and some of those cocktails or those drinks are kind of paired with what we're about to eat too, right?
Correct, yeah. Especially when it comes to the citrusy beverages that we're going to be having. A lot of Mexican food is intended to be paired with citrusy flavors like orange or maybe even lime. So a lot of the beverages that we have today do include orange, pineapple, and lime.
You're making me hungry. We haven't even left yet. Now let's talk about is it a microbrewery? Is there only one here? They've got local beer, right?
Yes, we have one microbrewery in Puerto Vallarta. It's its first and hopefully not the last, but it is our first and only microbrewery that we have. They have a really interesting beer that has a little bit of chile in it, so it's got a little kick that is different because obviously beer is very American, but they found a way to make it, a little more local by adding a little bit of chile to it.
So I think what's really cool is we haven't even departed yet, but I've already learned so much about the culture and the food and the drink here. So there's a huge educational element about the tour, right?
Yes, that is actually the purpose of this tour. It's not necessarily a pub crawl, it's more information, and obviously it's to enjoy yourselves. It's not a class, but the purpose is to educate you on the Mexican spirits and the way that we use them in our mixology here, and at the same time kind of showing you what we have to offer in regards to food as well.
So we've got pictures, or we're going to have pictures on our website, so pv.jbonair.com for all of our 10th anniversary celebration here in Puerto Vallarta. One more time, if people want to get information about the tour or want to book one, how can they do that?
You can go on to www.vallartafoodtours.com.
And they can ask for you, right?
They can ask for me. My name is Amanda. And we have a few other tour guides that are on our team. But if you'd like to ask for me specifically, you are more than welcome to.
Now, we're almost out of time, but I know you've got several different tours, though, that people can do, aside from this one that we're about to. 30 seconds, what else can people do?
Well, we have 2 other food tours that we do. We have our nighttime food tour, which showcases mostly our nighttime taco food scene, and then we have 2 other, and then we have one that goes into Pitillal, which is a daytime food tour, which does the same thing. It puts you into the back parts of Puerto Vallarta, a much more authentic part where you can't find that many tourists, and then another one that does go through the main parts of Puerto Vallarta also in the daytime.
Okay, so being from Canada, I would say bon appetit when I'm about to eat, and I would say cheers when I'm about to drink. What do you say here?
Buen provecho.
Okay, we'll have to do that. All right, so I'm starving and now I'm thirsty. We're going to get back. Again, pv.jbonair.com. Amanda, thank you so much, and let's have a good time.
Yeah, let's have a good time.
Let's do it. All right, back to the music now.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Back here on the Scribble once again, mexico.jbonair.com, pv.jbonair.com, and pride.jbonair.com. You'd think I was being paid by the Mexico tourism people to do this, but we're not. We've just had a great time. I probably spent, when I think about it, not that I've had very many vacations over the past 10 years, but when we've done these travel shows, somewhat of a vacation, we've spent more time in Mexico than we have, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, than at Canadian destinations and American destinations. I don't know about combined. Maybe it has been when I think about the amount, we've spent quite a bit of time. So again, mexico.jbonair.com, pv.jbonair.com, pride.jbonair.com. Next week on the show, we've got a bunch of current events type things that we're talking about, with Adele saying no, that she's not going to play the Super Bowl, and that show was actually supposed to air today, but we figured, let's address this Mexico thing and go on the record to say that we visit Puerto Vallarta, and it's a great time, and I've never felt unsafe, and you heard that rambling thing at the beginning. And then after that, we've got Neve Schulman from MTV's Siamese catfish. We've already taped that, and it's airing on the radio next week. You're going to hear that on the Scribble podcast in the following weeks. And then Dr. Karen Anderson, psychologist and relationship expert, she will be joining us once again to talk about relationships, following up with Neve's appearance on our shows. And then after that, the Kentucky Headhunters, recognized by Billboard, and quite an achievement that they just had. So we talked with one of the bandmates from the Kentucky Headhunters. So we've got a big 4 or 5 weeks ahead on the Scribble podcast. Hopefully you have subscribed already. If not, I encourage you to do so on SoundCloud, iTunes, and at thescribbleshow.com. Back to Mexico now, where, yes, we talked about the Canadian night with the pirates, and we've talked about all the things you can do in Mexico. Well, I ran into some Americans at a water park this spring, and they were having a great time in Mexico. I want you to hear what they told me about their experience in Puerto Vallarta. Jeremy Bradley here, back at Aquaventura. See, I'm learning Spanish already here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We've got all the coverage at pv.jbonair.com as we're celebrating 10 years on the air. Met some new friends while the dolphins, and some human friends. We've got Brenda and Nick. Tell me where you're from.
Northern Virginia.
Well, thanks for joining us today. And you've been in Mexico for how long now?
For about a week.
Okay, cool. So what have you done then over the past week?
I've been staying at the pool, the beach, enjoying the food here, and today we swam with dolphins.
All the high-energy activities, right? Those dolphins are really smart. Now, we were partners in that, and it was pretty exciting to see. They were swimming in front of us, and then we kind of got splashed a little bit, and then we got really interactive with them. Why don't you tell everybody what we did?
We did swim holding onto their 2 dorsal fins, 2 dolphin at the same time, and then one with a foot push where 2 came behind you and you stood on their noses and they pushed you across the pool standing up.
Yeah,
that was the most fun.
Yeah, and then they were also doing some jumps. They did a bit of a show. They were racing for us. What was your favorite moment?
Right, I was standing on the dolphins was fun, to really be lifted out of the water and really see how strong those animals were.
Now, did you think it was going to be hard, or maybe it was harder than you thought? What were your thought in the moment?
Easier than I thought, actually. Yeah.
Easier than swimming, isn't it? You can just hold on to something and they go. So what else do you have planned while you're here in Mexico?
Sadly, we leave tomorrow, so we just have one more day at the beach and pool and get ready to head out.
Life is tough, isn't it?
Life is tough.
All right, well, thanks so much. You're enjoying some great food here at Aquaventura, so thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, so we've got all that coverage again on our website, pv.jbonair.com. Let's get back to the music. Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. You know, we did take a bit of flack several years ago when I was with dolphins in captivity, and, you know, the pictures turned out great. The backlash fell very quickly right after that because that documentary Blackfish came about. So when we were there again in spring in Puerto Vallarta, I was swimming with dolphins in the ocean. In the ocean. They weren't owned by anybody. Nobody kept them there. They were swimming around us. And we've got some really cool underwater video, but I want you to listen to the owner of that adventure and hear what we talked about. Swimming with dolphins in the wild. Jeremy Bradley here, soaking wet in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Got to tell you, this is an incredible experience at Wildlife Connection here. I'm on the boat with Eduardo, and I'm almost speechless right now because 3 dolphins, I think, were just swimming right by me. Again, we've got those pictures in the video now on our website, pv.jbonair.com. You were saying how many dolphins can be in this group at one time?
Well, the entire group, there are 130, but normally they split in all the territory. It's a big area. We see probably 30 dolphins today around that.
Now, each of them has a distinct marking, you were telling us before we left. So, you know, you'd probably have to take pictures of them every time to see the same one twice. I mean, there's just that many, but they're very social. We had to dive under, right? That's sort of what gets their attention and to come near us, right?
Yeah, because they feel more comfortable under the water. Surface for them, if it's something weird on surface, they go down all the time. If you go down with them, they feel comfortable and they can interact as you see right now.
Aside from, so we saw fish because we saw sort of the imprint on the water, and we saw something other than dolphins. Do you want to tell everybody what we saw?
Oh, yeah. A giant manta was swimming on the surface, and we approached the boat to that just to see it. It's around probably 4 meters long, wing by wing, and it was nice to see them.
It's incredible. Now, so we had a lot of folks from the United States here. I'm, of course, from Canada. Did you get people, how far do people come and do this? Where have you met people from?
Well, many places, even China, Brazil, Europe, many places. Even probably farther away, maybe was South Africa and Australia. We have some people from there too.
Wow, that's incredible. So I absolutely recommend this tour because it's just incredible. And you also offer some other different adventure type packages in the water as well. So there's whale and turtles too, right?
That's right. We have the whale is actually the oldest activity we have. It's around 25 years working with whales here on research. Dolphins like 16 years and turtles like 22 of them. We have many other things to do in Puerto Vallarta, bird watching too.
Mm-hmm. And so all the information is on your website, right? I know you've got the address?
That's right. It's www.wildlifeconnection.com.
We'll be sure to check it out. Again, thank you so much, Eduardo. This is amazing. pv.jbonair.com for all the fun we've been having here in Mexico. We're going to get back to the music. Thank you so much again.
Thanks to you to come.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
pv.jbonair.com for all the Puerto Vallarta fun. Talk to you next time on The Scribble. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,